Hey, Jason, thanks so much for joining me today, and congratulations on your ERT accreditation.
Appreciate it, Tracy. Good to see you.
Absolutely, you too. And Jason, can you remind me, when did you join ERT?
I first got in kind of pre-catalyst back in, I want to say 2020, 2021.
Okay.
Was when I first joined. Yeah, I didn't really put a ton of effort into it until the catalyst launch. But yeah, so I've been part of this for quite a while.
Okay, awesome. And when you first joined, or even a couple years into your membership, did anything hold you back from working with the VFO? And if you can pinpoint that, what changed your mind to start implementing working with the VFO?
Yeah, it's a combination of things. I was relatively new to the industry. But wanted to level up and liked what the VFO concept was pitching. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so there was a little bit of lack of confidence, right, in my ability, just because I was so new in the industry and didn't know a whole lot, and so some of it was just self-limiting beliefs, and then the other
Mm,
side of it was just the compliance environment that I was in. So I
absolutely.
was with a captive insurance BD situation, and so the implementation was a little difficult.
Yes, yes. Okay, cool. And to build on that a little bit, can you maybe speak to how adding the virtual family office later on down the line to your firm's offerings has really helped impact and shape your client's perception of you?
Yeah, well, and I forgot to answer the part of your other question. What caused me to
Yeah.
really make the jump was I went to an in-person event.
Mm,
It's really the big thing that made me go, okay, this is the way. And then literally 4 months later, I went independent
mm,
so that I could do this. As far as your question about, how has the VFO helped reframe kind of clients' view of me? Uh,
mm-hmm,
I think the best way to describe it is with a story. So when I first got started in the industry, I had a prospective client that I was trying to get who was did pretty well, owned his own business, also was a full-time airline pilot, and made a good bit of money, and was really trying hard to get his business as a guy who had been in the industry for like 2 years.
mm,
Uh, and what he described to me was a guy that he ended up going to who was a CPA, who was a financial advisor, who had helped him structure a comprehensive exit strategy, restructured his entire business entity to help minimize his tax burden, and put in all kind of other things that I mean, it just seems so beyond anything I could possibly imagine
mm,
doing. And so that really sparked this idea in me, like, man, I want to be able to solve problems that way. And for me, it seemed like an impossible task because it was like, well, this guy's, built this knowledge base over 20, 30 years of experience in the industry. How could I possibly get there? I'm not going to go back to school. I'm not going to become a CPA. I'm not going to
right.
do all this. And then being introduced to the VFO concept is really what it's helped me do is grossly accelerate my learning, right? By
Mm,
having access to all the experts and all the specialists in the VFO and being able to access these things that are really difficult to find, these strategies and these specialists that are hard to find if you don't know who to call.
mm,
So for what's happened is I've been able to get the ability to solve those types of problems without having to have 30 years of knowledge accumulation because of the team that we have that allows me to solve those complicated problems and to learn along the way, uh,
mm-hmm.
without just depending on myself to find the knowledge. So that's been the real difference. And so clients see that, and what clients see is that we know how to solve hard problems, and so
Mm.
get tagged as the people who know how to solve hard problems.
Yeah, I love that. And thanks for sharing. I think you hit on two really important things. One, taking the time, and yes, it does take time to learn, to research, to empower yourself, and then in turn, your clients see how you're really working to customize and solve their problem. So I think that's super important. So thanks for touching on that. And taking it back just a little bit, you had mentioned the in-person event. What was kind of like the turning point? Was there any one thing you heard, any one conversation, or just like the overall kind of vibe and energy that was kind of that shift or turning point for you?
Yeah, I mean it was pre-Catalyst. So like when I went to that
Mm-hmm.
event, that's when they launched kind of the Catalyst program.
Okay.
And so prior to that, like we didn't have the school platform. We didn't have
Mm-hmm.
all these videos you can go watch and hear the talks and whatnot. So it was really my first time getting to interact with the specialists in the
Mm.
VFO. And so it was, 2 days or 3 days or whatever it was of like just drinking from a fire hose of
Yeah.
all these different things that were out there that I'd never heard of. And that nobody had ever taught me, and that honestly, even things that people had told me before were impossible, that were not impossible, that could easily
Mm-hmm.
be
Mm-hmm.
done, if you knew if you had the right tools.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yeah,
just getting that
absolutely.
level of exposure, for a couple of days, and of course now with the school platform, all those videos exist out there, for you to go see whenever you want. But it was that was the real thing that jumped over, is being able to interact with the experts and really hear what they had to say, and meet everybody in person. These are real
Mm-hmm.
people, not just people on the side of a screen.
Yep.
Real
Yeah, it's
people that
totally
actually run a
different.
real business. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I felt the same when I went to my first in-person event, just to have those like one-off conversations and to dive a little deeper and yeah, just see who they are as people. And then in addition, from that strategic viewpoint, how that can help your clients. Yeah, I think it's such a game changer. So thanks for
Yeah.
sharing that. The pre-catalyst days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aw-
Yeah.
Awesome. And then Jason, getting back on track a little bit, like with the VFO, is there a particular case or example that you've done recently that you can share and really like what that impact was for your client, whether that was savings, earnings, and then lastly, the revenue share that you and perhaps a CPA partner were able to take part in?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many stories. It's hard
Yeah.
to nail down one. I mean, one of my CPA partners, a CPA that is really my most well integrated partner, and we talk on a almost daily basis. Like we're on
Mm,
Microsoft Teams together. We're chatting back and forth on a regular basis. It's a true partnership. We have a
yeah.
client that we're working with now, who once he got into the program, we started digging into his details, and we just found so many latent problems with things that just weren't done correctly.
Mm,
Where there was a cash balance plan that was not leveraging the opportunity to do death benefit funding in it. So they were leaving some on the table in terms of being able to fully fund that policy. There was a captive insurance plan that was being managed well, but there were just things about it that he wasn't aware he needed to do that were really kind of hurt some of his return options there. And so we took that over and started managing that for him, right? There was a
mm,
he was doing some IC disc work through another party, and we started looking at the IC disc with the specialist inside the VFO, and
mm,
realized that the partnership agreements were done incorrectly, the tax returns were filed incorrectly. That I mean, it's just so many like essentially you kind of have to start over, with the IC
yes.
disc, and so there's just so many of these things that we found that the client was kind of managing themselves, and it was,
Mm-hmm.
he was doing a good job of it, but also trying to run his business. And in the end, just being able to bring that quarterback mentality of, hey, client, let us take this, let us deal with this. And really, all he has to do now is sign off on stuff and accept the meeting request. When
Mm-hmm.
we want to get with the specialist and kind of go through, and now he just has to make decisions, not actually do anything, because we do it for him.
Yeah.
Um, and that alone has just been a godsend for that type of a client to have,
Mm,
a team of people that are in his corner, that are advocating for him to help him solve the problems that are in his business, and to bring wonderful ideas. I mean, we've probably reduced his taxable income from 1 million plus down to a couple 100,000, um,
yeah.
with all the different strategies that have been implemented. Um, and it's ended up in the capture of several $100,000 of assets, and probably more to come. And
Mm,
since I started working with this particular CPA, we probably brought in, actually, one client that we just started working with.
mm-hmm.
We did a large capital gains event. We mitigated $11.5 million in capital gains tax, saved the client close to $1 million in taxes,
Wow.
and managed to capture about $5 million of investable assets.
Mm,
This client was brand new to the CPA just like 3 months ago.
wow.
So it's just when you come at these clients as a team with a heart to solve problems
Mm,
and to help them be successful, they just, it works. It's a completely different way of doing business.
absolutely. No, I think that's so well said and such an important takeaway where you and your CPA partner have come together as a team. It seems like you both are leading very authentically with what you are bringing forth to the client. And I think it's so important too because you are, again, tailoring it to their problems or perhaps helping them uncover problems that they didn't even know were there
Oh
because you're
yeah,
taking the time, right, to dive deep where
yeah,
it's like, oh, wait, I was paying this and I was doing that and this is incorrect. So
yeah.
it's so eye opening to them too. And I think instills a lot of trust, right? Because it's like we're kind of doing that diagnostic work that takes time because we want to ensure that everything is where it needs to be, ensure that they have those positive changes moving forward. And yes, financially it will impact them, but that financial income impact can translate to their personal life, what they can leave their kids, what they can invest in for perhaps a passion project, or all those different things, because now you and your CPA partner have come together and opened those doors for them. So I think, like you said, a completely different way of doing business where you're kind of leading people forward and client forward. And I think that is so awesome. So thanks for sharing that, Jason.
It's that, and I mean, what it's enabled, honestly, Tracy, is we get quality at
Mm,
bats with the kind of clients most financial advisors can't even imagine
mm,
approaching.
yeah.
I mean, I had a sit down conversation the other day with a prospective client that was recommended to me by a CPA that I have a relationship with. We're
Mm-hmm.
not quite partners yet, but we're working on it. But he recommended the client come talk to me because we could have an impact. The CPA trusted we could have an impact based on our
Yeah.
relationship. That client is a family that owns a company that's netting $26 million a year.
So cool.
And everybody on the planet is trying to get that guy as a client. And it's all, let me sell you this, let me manage this, let me do this. And they come to us and it's, well, tell me about your problem. Oh, you're
Mm-hmm.
$5 million in taxes this year. Us and our team, we think we can probably cut that in half. Here at the end of the year with a little bit of scrambling, if we had more time, we could probably do better.
Right.
Or if we can't do better, then cut it in half.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, but see, that's so cool. Just by those conversations for them to just, yeah, gravitate towards you, right? Like they can feel your intention behind it. So just keep doing what you're doing. I think that's great.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. And so, of course, like we kind of just spoke to all the positive changes that your clients are seeing because of your partnerships, because of the service you're providing. But for your CPA, have you noticed any positive changes for them? Not just like from a financial perspective, but maybe even in their personal life or things that they've been able to change within their firm, things like that too.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest change for them is just, uh, having somebody that they feel confident that they can work with.
Mm-hmm.
We've been able to build a level of trust. We've done our part to demonstrate to our CPA partners that we're here to advocate for their clients, not just to get something from their clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, once we've been able to build that trust, I mean, the ability to really serve the CPAs and take a load off of them to provide value to their clients, to help them provide value to their clients has just endeared their clients to them even more, right? Help
Mm.
their clients become more loyal. I mean, and to say nothing of the fact that we've, for the partners that have really gotten integrated with us and really jumped in, with both feet, it doesn't help that we've been able to add a significant amount of revenue to their practice.
Yeah, absolutely, right? I mean, that just makes it a win for everybody all around where you're enjoying the work, you're kind of leading again with integrity and authenticity. But of course, like, yeah, when you can open up that realm of you get to do what you like to do and you're helping people and adding to your revenue, then that can open up doors too in your personal life where
Oh
you have a
yeah,
much more balanced life, right? And
sure.
in turn, you're happier. So you're making people happier every day, Jason.
Sure. It's my favorite thing to do is to, shoot a text or an email to my CPA partner and say, "Hey, shoot me an invoice for $50,000."
Yeah, that's awesome, right?
It's a great it's some folks look at it, might look at it and feel like, I hate it that I have to share this, but to me it's a joy.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. It makes me happy to help them support their business and to help them grow their business. I mean, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, absolutely. What a powerful shift. And I just love that mindset. So thanks for sharing that. What about you? Are you looking to grow your firm or any major goals for you in the future?
Yeah, goal wise, so brought on a business partner this year. So another advisor that's at the RA that I'm with. So we partnered up this year in an unofficial capacity. We are joining forces in a more kind of legal official capacity in
Okay.
2020. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Leverage of another person on the team to take some of the load off. He's basically kind of become our CIO and manages
Hmm.
all alternative investment options. We're pretty unique in the RIA space that we have access to a lot of alternatives. But so that's been huge. Been able to hire some part-time staff to help me out, which has
Awesome.
been great. But goals wise, for my business partner and I, we really love the idea of being able to have these deeper relationships with clients. And so for
Mm-hmm.
us, we feel like, the long-term goal for us is we feel like we can, with the power of this process, we can build a practice where we serve, maybe 75 to 100 clients max,
Mm.
and grow to, half a billion in assets under management. And also have the various other revenue streams, from the different planning engagements and things like that. But that's our
Yes.
goal, 75, 100 clients, so 50 a piece that we kind of were with the relationship leader and build a nice practice by
Yeah.
yeah.
Very awesome. Yeah, I think part of the feat in itself is actually just identifying those goals and what you want, right? So I think once you can actually envision it, then you can start to actively take steps towards it. So yeah, that's great. We're in Q4, so something to
Yeah.
look forward to in 2025.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe there's a day where we bring on another advisor that, can handle more CPA partnerships and that thing, maybe that's in
Yeah.
the future, but we feel like if you got, I don't know, 75 clients and you're managing $500 million, and that's a pretty nice little business that, maybe doesn't require a ton of a ton of heartache. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And it's always an evolution, right? So
yeah.
that's amazing. With that, would you like to mentor other ERT members in the community that kind of are learning the processes that are focusing on those goals that could perhaps tap into you and kind of your evolution along the way through ERT?
Yeah, a lot of folks helped me along the way, and I'm more than happy to help them as well. And so yeah, would love to give back.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. I just have one more question for you today. What is one word to describe your growth? And that can be personally, professionally, financially, since you joined ERT.
Uh yeah, I would say yeah, accelerate, right?
Hmm,
Accelerated
like it.
my learning, accelerated my capacity and capability beyond anything I could have done by myself.
Hmm, awesome. Thank you. One word, accelerate. I know sometimes it's hard to like put a bunch of ideas and thoughts into one word, but I think that encapsulates it really well. So thank you. And thank you so much for all your insights, sharing kind of your journey, the evolution since you joined ERT. And I definitely am looking forward to seeing what's to come.
Yeah, appreciate it, Tracy.